Beyond.
Beyond.
Say it louder, Vince.
Beyond.
Yes, beyond. My name is Colin Moriarty. This is Vince Ingenito, and we're here at IGN. And I want to talk, Vince, a little bit about something I wrote. I wrote an editorial. You can see it below this video if you're watching it on IGN. And it's about kind of the bleak-looking first-party lineup for PlayStation 4 moving forward.
Is it really so bleak, though, Colin?
It's bleak right this minute. But I think in a few weeks that's all going to change because we go to E3 and then we go to Gamescom and then we go to Tokyo Game Show. And I just kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about the games that are coming up for PlayStation 4 that we know about, and then what we think might be coming later on, and why you might want to take heart in the announcements that are going to come in the next few weeks.
But Colin, clearly, the only thing we have to look forward to is Uncharted 4 whenever, and Drive Club, and who cares about cars?
Right. No one wants to drive a car.
And, The Order, which we now know is not coming this year.
Right.
So, what do I possibly have to look forward to?
Well, I mean, this was the thing, is that everyone was looking at The Order as being this game that was going to kind of fill in the fall, the fall season for exclusives. And obviously PlayStation's going to get a lot of exclusives this year, but not AAA exclusives except for Drive Club. And as I predicted when we saw The Order back in February, I was like, this game's not coming out this year, it's going to be delayed. Everyone called me stupid on the internet.
Because you were so stupid, Colin. How could you think that?
And then it ended up getting delayed. So really we only have Drive Club, right? And you said Uncharted 4, obviously we know about Naughty Dog's working on that. I wouldn't expect to see that game until fall, holiday 2015.
So they hire half their staff back.
Yeah, exactly. So that game is far away.
Right.
But maybe we'll see it at E3, and that's kind of the point, is that I think we're going to see some cool stuff at E3, and I think one of the exciting things that people are ignoring is that a lot of Sony's studios have been dormant and quiet, and we don't know what they're working on yet.
Like which studios?
Let's think about Media Molecule.
Right.
We haven't seen anything out of them. Obviously, they did Tearaway, but that was a small little game. They really haven't put a game out since Little Big Planet 2.
Right.
A big AAA game. Guerrilla Games has another team, the guys that did Killzone Shadowfall, obviously working on the DLC, but they have another team. A lot of rumors that they're working on an open world RPG. They hired the writer of Fallout New Vegas.
Would love to see them break away from the shooter mold, for sure.
Me too. And then we have Sony Santa Monica. Now they had some significant unfortunate layoffs earlier this year. Apparently one of the projects that was in development for a long time that they were probably going to reveal at this E3 was canceled. So we'll see what the other team has been working on. Presumably the guys that did God of War Ascension. Sony San Diego, they do baseball games every year, but they also have other people there, and every once in a while they put out a different game. They put out Mod Nation Racers on Vita, so we have that.
They're talented guys.
Yep, they are talented guys. Sucker Punch just put out Infamous. Maybe they'll get some DLC for Infamous. Maybe we'll get another Infamous game in the future, like we got Festival of Blood, kind of a spin-off on Infamous 2. And then you have Polyphony Digital, obviously probably working on Gran Turismo. You have Japan Studio doing a bunch of different projects. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm waiting for one other magical one that you can't ever get through one of these without mentioning, Colin.
Sony Bend. Is that the one? Is that the one? My
Your
obsession?
lifelong obsession.
I'm obsessed with Sony Bend for some reason. And yeah, maybe they're working on Siphon Filter, maybe they're working on something else. So, I mean, do you think we're going to see some of these games at E3?
I think if it's not E3, then I don't know when. They've got to break their silence and set the tone now. They sent such a strong message at last year's E3, and they came out of that hands down with as the winner with so much momentum behind them. I can't imagine. They know that with the change in leadership that's gone on at Microsoft and the winds changing there, they know that Microsoft is going to come out swinging. They're going to need to be prepared with some big answers to the question that we're answering right now, which is what are they going to have? Because right now, a lot of people are saying that, Microsoft could catch up by this time next year if they really, bang home all their exclusives, looking at, how Sony's, plate looks kind of empty. So if they're going to make a move, I don't see how they're going to do it anytime other than E3. Now's the time for them to act. So, not only am I expecting them to say stuff at E3, I'm hoping they're going to say stuff at E3. Because if not, I think that we're either going to be looking at a very empty year for them, which would be unfortunate, or we're going to be looking at a year of great games that don't have enough hype behind them and don't have enough marketing push behind them. And we know we've seen that before from Sony. So
absolutely,
let's
a
hope
lot.
we don't do it again.
Starhawk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, there's reason, like I said, to take heart. I think there's reasons to be optimistic. I understand where the fear comes from because I feel the same way. It's like we look forward and it's like Drive Club, which I'm not personally interested in. That game's going to do well, I think, and a lot of people really like it, but I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I want The Order, I want Uncharted, but where's everything else? And so I think at E3 or this year, I really do think we're going to see The Last Guardian, and I think it's going to come out this year.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah. And I think that similar to last year before E3 when The Order actually leaked as a trademark filing. 4 trademarks have leaked already in the last couple months for Sony: Guns Up, Entwined, Bloodborne, and one more, Killstrain. Those 4 games have leaked. So those are
such video game titles.
So presumably those are 4 Sony-owned exclusive games, maybe from a first-party studio, maybe from a second-party studio like Ready at Dawn, because Ready at Dawn, working on The Order, is actually not a Sony-owned studio. But I think that we're going to start seeing more games, and I think we're going to see games announced that come out this year to kind of fill in that gap, because I don't think they would let Ready at Dawn delay The Order and put that extra polish on if they really didn't have anything else on the slate.
Or maybe if they don't have anything else on the slate, maybe they'll just spend a lot more time this year focusing on indie stuff and selling that and pushing it even farther. Although, as much as I love the indie stuff, I don't know if that will be a good enough substitute for the people who are looking for reasons why they bought their shiny new next-gen system.
Right. I think the momentum's going to slow down. I think that Sony hasn't had their hand forced yet because the system's selling at a historic rate without really, with Killzone and Infamous, good games.
And Resogun.
And Resogun, of course, the best PlayStation 4 game. But, their hand might be forced soon. The momentum's going to slow down. They got to kind of start revealing some of these games. A reason to own the console. I still think that Resogun is a reason to own PS4. I still think that the indie slate is a reason to own it. But, for a lot of people, that's not true, and I understand that. So while there's great third-party games and some cross-platform games, cross-generation games coming out later in the year, we want to see those first-party exclusives. And I think you're going to see them at E3 and Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show. So be patient, be happy, be excited. Please be excited for E3.
Please look forward to E3.
So Vince, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. It's good to see you.
Thank you for yours, Colin. Always.
No problem. And for more on all things PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation Vita, you can listen to Podcast Beyond on Tuesdays, or you can keep it tuned to IGN.